Excuse me, can I have like a little path cleared so I
So we
can see Dean, please? I have to be able to see him.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, I have to call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. We have a lot on the agenda. At 7:55, we will be taking a recess, and we will have to clear this room. And I'm doing that promptly at 7:55. So with that, I'm calling this meeting to order at 7:01. Kelly, if you can do the roll call, please.
Michael Boucher.
Here.
Kate Knutson.
Here.
Shauna Manthorn.
Here.
Kim Farah.
Excused.
Kristen Savage.
Present.
Mark Sherwood.
Here.
Kim McCormick.
Here.
Brian Boyle.
Excused. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and since we have a full room full of teachers, if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have minutes that we need to approve. Everyone has them in their folder. Yeah. Excuse me, right over there, Kim?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask, I hate to do this too, I need the teachers to move away from Kim because we have non-public things at the board.
Yeah.
So if you can move, scooch further down, I'd appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that area up to that table, that's considered that whole area for capacity of 75, so
Thank you.
feel free to bring some folks forward and loosen up the grip.
I make a motion to approve the October 20th, 2022 minutes, meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Do I have any discussion on those minutes? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? And opposed? Abstaining? So that is 6-1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-1.
501.
501. I gotta get used to the new numbers. Right, and we do have a set of non-public. So, Mark, you already have yours. Oh, no, you don't. Can you hand those down that way? Just Kim? Kim.
Make a motion to approve the October 20th, 2022 non-public meeting minutes.
Do you have a sec?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? Kim, 501 again. If I could have those back. Okay. Our next order is delegates and individuals. Our first delegate is Louise Pajak.
Good evening, Louise Pajak from Sandown. A wise old teacher told me once that a short pencil is better than a long memory, so excuse me while I read from my notes. Last September, our community gathered to honor faculty and staff who had retired in 2020 and 2021. The recurring theme of the evening was the incalculable amount of loyalty and devotion these veterans had given to our Timberlane community. Tonight, we are confronted with a serious challenge. Our teachers, who have devoted an equivalent measure of service and loyalty, who have persevered through the most daunting health crisis our country has faced since the flu epidemic of 1918, have been left without a contract for a second consecutive year. How can this be acceptable? I implore you to do everything you can to guarantee our teachers and paras a fair contract. They deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. Next is Catherine Lindblad.
Sorry, I don't have some nice words to say before. I just have to read off my papers. Good evening. My name is Kate Lindblad, and I am a resident of Plastow. I have 3 children in the school system, a freshman at the high school, a 7th grader at the middle school, and a 2nd grader at Pollard. I'm dressed in blue tonight to show my support for my colleagues, and I'm standing here before you, or sitting here before you, not just as a teacher, but as a parent and a taxpayer. Frankly, since I'm new to being a teacher, I didn't feel like I had any right to share my opinion or take away any time from someone else at the microphone because I've only been here for 1 hot minute, while my colleagues have been there in the trenches, dedicated to public education and serving the needs of the families in our district to educate their children for years, some of them for decades. However, as a parent and a taxpayer for this district, I felt it was my duty to put my discomfort for public speaking to the side and throw my support behind this group of individuals. In just my very short time being employed as a teacher in the middle school, I have been completely bowled over by the level of caring and dedication these teachers have for our students. The amount of blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights, endless hours of planning, prepping, and grading that goes into this profession is something that nobody on the outside can possibly grasp. I considered myself a very involved parent in my children's education. I was aware that teachers put many more hours in than just what they are paid for during the school day. That's pretty obvious if you pay attention at all, but I had no idea whatsoever until I took the job on myself how much actually goes into educating our children. There are not enough hours in the day. These dedicated individuals take on this job that requires sometimes multiple degrees in higher education and get paid peanuts. My previous career was in a profession where 20 years ago I was able to earn at entry level double what I make now with the opportunity for rapid advancement and salary increases, and I was able to enjoy both. I had benefits not dissimilar to my current benefits, but the perks of working in private industry are something that those who have only ever worked in public education never experience. And I'm not talking about anything earth-shattering. I'm talking closing the door to your office when you want to focus and work uninterrupted instead of being inundated with students begging to increase their grade overnight. I'm talking taking a little extra longer at lunch when you're having a rough day instead of skipping lunch to help a struggling student. I'm even talking going to use the restroom when you need to. And there are countless other examples that teachers live without simply because it's their chosen profession. My understanding is that the issue at hand is over retirement benefits. There are teachers who stand to lose tens of thousands of dollars of expected retirement money. Can you look me in the eye and tell me how that is remotely okay? They dedicated the decades of their lives to this career to then just have that benefit be stolen from them? It's certainly not okay with me, and I'm standing here fully expecting that however the contract negotiations end, probably will have little to no impact on me big picture. But that doesn't matter. I stand here in support of them, asking you to do what's right and keep this benefit on the table. Is that my time?
Yes, ma'am, unfortunately.
Parents of my students, I love them so much. I've only been here for 60-some odd days. Imagine how much love there is for your students, for your children, with all these people behind me. Thank you for
Kate.
giving them a chance in this profession. I love it so much.
Thank you. Next is Tracy DeMarco, who's going to be followed by Sarah Oman. So if you can move to the front of the room, that would be great. Tracy's up now.
Hi. So my name's Tracy DeMarco. I'm a Plastow resident. I'm a mom in the district, and I'm also a TIMBERLANE Regional Middle School teacher. I am reading this on behalf of one of my middle school colleagues. So in her 2.5 short years as a teacher at the TIMBERLANE Middle School, she has been a science teacher, a STEAM teacher, a track coach, a basketball coach, a cross-country coach, a sponsor for the ski club, a Lego robotics competition coach, and the secretary of the Teachers Union. In that short time, she has taught or coached over 600 students. As well as many other teachers that I know and she knows often give up their afternoon, evenings, and weekends to ensure that the needs of all of our students are met. While doing so, our own needs are not being met. I do not know a single teacher who will say that they are in this career for money. We do, however, expect to be able to afford the general cost of living. Right now, with our current salary being the 18th lowest of 20 schools in the area, a large population of us could not independently afford to live. The cost of living without my husband or her husband, and my husband as well, would be $700 a month in student loans, $300 a month in groceries, $100 a month in car insurance, $100 a month on a cell phone, $230 a month in car payments, and $1,400 in mortgage, etc. Her total cost of expenses would be about $3,000 a month, and she only makes $2,100 per month. And trust me and her that we don't live extravagantly, so the terms of our old contract are truthfully unacceptable, and if Timberlane wants to continue to draw in and maintain dedicated teachers and staff, these terms need to be changed. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah Ullman and then James Shivel.
I hate public speaking, so just bear with me. I'm turning red. I already told Dean it's going to happen. I come to you, I'm Sarah Ullman, I'm from Plastow, New Hampshire. I come to you as a parent above all else. I work in the schools, I moved to the schools and took a giant pay cut so that I could be in the schools and give back to my community. And I knew that I was taking a pay cut, but I did not know how much I was going to be working, coming in and working in this school. I had no idea. When I saw these teachers and what they were doing for our kids every single day, I was floored. I did not prepare anything because I have to go from my heart about this because it's so in my heart. Just seeing the teachers, some of the teachers in this room have made the most amazing impact on my kids. I lived in California for 10 years. When my kids were born, I was in California. I grew up here, and I said, I'm going back to Timberlane because I want my kids to have the education that I had. I want them to grow up the way that I grew up, in the community that I grew up in, with the teachers. And my kids have a teacher that I had. And that's amazing, and he deserves that retirement bonus more than anybody because he's had all of us. But I'm here as a parent saying, appreciate these teachers. They're not asking for a lot. The cost of living increase for disability right now is 8.7%. We're asking for 3%. It's not a lot. I had so much more to say, but Kate said the majority of it, and I did not prepare it, but being in this community means so much to me. Giving back to this community means so much to me. I call it my hobby job because I took a large pay cut to come here, and now I'm doing the job of 2 people. So just know that these teachers, for their income, are doing the job of 2 people, the majority of them. Because it's not possible to do everything we can in our 30-something hours a week. It's just absolutely impossible. And I just want to name a couple of the teachers that have changed my kids' lives. James Dion has changed my son's life. My son respects him more than anything. Diane Gagnon is the person who helped my daughter get on an IEP because she was struggling with ADHD in middle school. As a special educator who has 2 students on IEPs, I know how important these people are, and they have to have eyes on these kids. They are so valued by my family. They are so valued by me as a taxpayer. I will give them anything they want. I don't care. I will vote for it. If they want 3%, please. That's all I want to give them. If they want their retirement and they paid into it, they did their time, they earned that. For us to take that away just on a whim, it's just not fair. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to their planning for their retirement. It's not fair to our kids because a lot of them are going to retire when they didn't want to yet and they weren't ready to yet, and we're forcing that on them. Saying, oh, well, you got to retire by January or you're not getting your bonus, when they don't want to leave. They want to stay. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave this district ever. I want to stay here. As long as my kids are here and my community is here, I want to stay here. But I need to make enough to live here.
Thank you,
And we
Sarah.
don't do that.
James Shivel, followed by Coral Hampy.
All right, my name is JJ Shivel. I'm from Danville. I'm here tonight as a concerned resident of Danville, but I'm also a concerned teacher at the high school. My 2 boys attended Danville Elementary, the middle school, and I still have one son here at the high school. And my boys have spent countless hours over that time with amazing teachers, coaches, administrators, and support staff who've all contributed to mold and shape my boys into the good and decent men that they're becoming. I'm thankful, and I'm so proud of the people in our schools who have guided them on their journeys. And I know how important our schools are. And I've always looked at supporting our schools as an investment in our kids' futures. It's an investment. Okay? Investments that we make in our teachers, our admin, our support staff, our paras, our custodians, they're all important. I'm here tonight because I believe we are falling short in our commitment to our kids' futures by not properly supporting the admin, the staff, the teachers who mold them. Although the reasons are many, the facts remain. Many of our buildings are short-staffed. Admin currently is without a contract. Support staff, Tracy, we got you there. Support staff is working without a contract. And our teachers, which is the people behind me, and support staff, they're working without a contract, and we're now at an impasse in negotiations for a new contract next year. What are we doing? For the first time I can remember, a teacher can leave the grounds of Timberlane, get in their car, drive in any direction, and run into a school that pays their teachers a more competitive wage than Timberlane. Shocked. If we don't invest in our people, what will our kids' futures look like? As I said earlier, I'm also a teacher at the school. I teach math, I coach lacrosse. I love teaching. I came to Timberlane 8 years ago from another school where I was spent 17 years. I came here because I wanted to make a difference in my own community. I will not get into my own story tonight. Every teacher behind me has his or her own story, every one of us. But I'm worried, and I'm going to share this with you. I do not want to lose good teachers simply because we are ceasing to compensate them competitively with other schools in the area or over the border. Teachers aren't looking to get rich. We just want a fair shake. It's my hope that all people of good faith will be able to come together and resolve this situation. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Good evening. Coral Hampy, Danville, TTA President. It should be common knowledge that members of the Timberlane Teachers Association are working without a contract this year. We have been negotiating to produce a contract that will value the teachers who continue to serve the students of Timberlane and will attract quality new teachers to our district. Our members expressed extreme disappointment that the school board refuses to negotiate in good faith or with a sincere desire to have a contract ready for voting in March. The district is currently understaffed, and our members are being stretched to the outer limits. The current position of the school board negotiating team demonstrates an abject failure to recognize the extraordinary efforts by the teachers, nurses, school counselors, and licensed professionals who serve this district. One of our priorities for our members is to recover lost wages and steps to be competitive. One of the charts we present during negotiations is a comparison of our district and 18 surrounding districts. In this year's chart, Timberlane has dropped even lower. This means a salary level of a person with a bachelor's, step 1, is ranked 14th out of 18th, their salary. Bachelor's, step 15, is rated 15th. Master's, step 1, is 13th, and master's, step 15, is 17th out of 18. A real example is an educator at Timberlane who is on master's plus 30, step 11, earns $61,793. An educator in Salem on the exact same level earns $79,243. That's a difference of $17,450. Educators cannot afford to continue to work for Timberlane. There will be another mass exodus this year if we can't come to an agreement that offers a living wage. We will lose so many quality educators. We can't afford to work for Timberlane. Can Timberlane afford to lose us? Thank you.
Kelly, all set, right? That's all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I can't comment on any specifics. I can't. I can say I don't know where the perception is coming from that this board does not support you. I think we highly support you. We don't want to lose you. We realize what we have, and we definitely want to have a contract. So to hear somebody say we don't want that is just false. We do want it. What I can say from hearing what I've heard here and in the last few days is that there's clearly a big gap in communication between the two sides. Because what I'm hearing from what's coming from your group or people speaking on behalf of your group is not what's discussed amongst this board at all. So somewhere along the way, there's a giant gap. And now we're in a position where you've called for an impasse, so there's nothing we can do to come back to the table right now until we go to mediation. So our hands are tied. But somehow we need to figure out where that gap in communication is happening, because the things that you're saying are further, there might be some little, but in general, it's not what this board is talking about, and it's not what we're proposing, so I don't know where that lack is coming from. And that's really about all I can say, other than we support our teachers. And for people to say we don't, the ironic part is I can walk out this door and I'm gonna have hundreds of people tell me that I support you too much and that I don't support the taxpayers. So we're stuck in this big quagmire. I mean, we're hearing it from both sides, but we want to do the right thing by everyone. But the biggest thing right now is to figure out why this gap of communication is existing and to address that and move forward. So I thank you all for your time in coming. Mark, I know you want to say one thing, and then we do have to move on because we have a packed agenda tonight.
Real fast, just echoing, for those of you who were involved and followed the elections this past year, you will see a lot of new faces on this board. Listen to what they said when they were running. That is where they stand now, including myself. This is not last year's board. There's so much, I really wish we could discuss specifics. We are precluded from that. I think if we could, you would be amazed at the amount of common ground we have. I've received over a dozen emails today, and it was so hard for me not to say, yes, I agree, I get it, yes, same page. We can't go into specifics because the union, took away the table. I am looking forward to, and other members are looking forward to continuing the conversation, because I will just speak for myself now. I recognize we need to address some of the inadequacies. Absolutely, certainly. I was a product of this school. I moved back to Sandown so that my children could benefit from being a product of this school. They have. In the school, that's what it is. That's what I'm looking at right now. So I feel, again, just echoing, there has been a lot of miscommunication, and I'll just drop it
And
there.
I'm just going to clarify your one comment because I saw the heads shake. We now are in a different process. We just can't call a meeting and sit down with you tomorrow. That's what Mark meant
That's
by
what I
his
was referring
comment.
to.
So our key is to figure out what that process is and to move it forward. It's November. We need to have something on the warrant ASAP. We wanted it by now. It's not here. We need to figure out the process to make it move forward and get it done. So we can't go any further. We can't talk anymore. I thank you for your time. I do need to move on the agenda tonight.
Thank you.
Change your negotiating team. That'll help.
Cora, we did, and I'm just gonna leave it at that, okay? We have a different board, and we did, and
Chris, can I comment?
that could go both ways. We can't do this all night. I'm sorry, I can't. All right, we have to move on, and I'm gonna hand over the floor to Matt for our student rep.
I will say, it's very nice. It's very nice to see some familiar faces in the audience tonight. Some ones that I haven't seen in a while. So I'll start. Timberlane High School has had a lot going on recently. The English Honors Society is leading, leading the New Hampshire holiday cards for our military challenge for the 4th year in a row. Members of the English Honor Society are asking everyone in the high school to send a holiday card of encouragement and cheer to our active overseas servicemen and women. Holiday cards are available in the high school library and are due by November 10th. College application season is coming to an end, finally. Students have been able to get their applications in on time thanks to our wonderful school counseling department. They have worked very hard on getting students' applications in to the college of their choice on time. Rho Kappa is hosting a Veterans Day celebration on November 8th at 1 p.m. in the school library. Student Council will also be hosting a holiday gingerbread house making party on the 6th of December. The community is welcome to participate. Big shout out to Miss Libby for making all these amazing events possible. Mealy's Meals collect baskets from now until the 18th of November. All of the baskets will be raffled off from the 29th to the 9th of December. All of the money raised from the raffle will go to families in the district that are in need. Football playoffs are on Friday. It will be a home game at 7 p.m. Thank you. Project Hope is gearing up for their 14th annual Project Hope Fashion Show. They are looking for donations right now. Please contact Jessica Trainer for more info. Midsummer's Night Dream is opening tonight at the Performing Arts Center at 7 and runs from Friday at 7 and Saturday at 7 with a matinee at 1. Atkinson Academy students have enjoyed their Halloween parade with grades K through 5 participating. Many families visited for the parade. Grade 4 spent an amazing day at the New Hampshire State House where they had a tour as well as a private audience with Senate President Morris. They were also invited to meet with the governor. Every student got to speak with the governor and shake his hand. Grade 5, the 5th graders visited the Boston Museum of Science in October. This trip was well planned, well strategized, and was very fun. Upcoming lip sync show, the students in grades 2 through 5 will be participating in the lip sync, a long-standing activity that is returning. The event will occur at the Performing Arts Center on November 18th, starting at 6 p.m. Pollard students participated in a Halloween parade on October 31st. Many families and community members came to watch. A video of the event will be posted very soon. During the month of September and October, Pollard 5th grade classes participated in the New Hampshire Kid Governor program. The students learned about New Hampshire's 3 branches of government: voting and elections, and campaign platforms. Pollard School just received word yesterday that a 5th grader, Hayden Simmons, is one of the finalists, 7 candidates for the New Hampshire's 2023 Kid Governor. Over 60 schools throughout the state participate in the program. Hayden was elected amongst her 5th grade peers, then submitted a platform and campaign video to the New Hampshire Kid Governor Selection Committee. Hayden's campaign focused on ending hunger and poverty in New Hampshire. All 7 finalists will be officially announced tomorrow, and their videos will be posted for 5th graders around the state to watch and help then elect their 2023 Kid Governor. The current Kid Governor is former Pollard student Charlotte Cotty. The Pollard School Committee is very proud of Hayden and wish her luck in upcoming election. Thank you to the 5th grade teachers for making this opportunity possible for our students. Thank you to the fire department for providing fire prevention assemblies for Pollard School students. Sandown North. Sandown enjoyed their Halloween parade. Grades 1 and 2 participated, and the other grades and parents enjoyed watching. A video of the event will be posted soon. Sandown North is currently participating in Trick or Trash program. Trick or Trash encourages students to save their candy wrappers from Halloween and bring them to the school where they will be collected for recycling. Candy wrappers can be delivered to the collection box in Mrs. Bruce's classroom through the month of November. These wrappers will then be turned into plastic pellets to be reused. A huge thank you to Mrs. Bruce for bringing this important endeavor to Sandown. And that concludes.
Thank you very much, Matt. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Moving on to our current business, our first item is, I just need to briefly state that we have a school board vacancy. Steve Finnegan, I want to thank him for his time on the board, but he is no longer on the board with us. So we now have an opening in Sandown. This opening has been posted as of October 27th. It will stay open until Monday, November 7th. Letters of interest for Sandown residents should go to the Sandown Board of Selectmen. Just to let people know, Mark Sherwood will be replacing Steve on TTA and Shauna on policy. When we have a full board, which hopefully will be at our second meeting in November, our next meeting, hopefully, we will discuss any other reorganization that we need to do at that time. But at this time, that's how we are proceeding. So thank you again, Steve. Moving on, warrant articles, informational, again, they're in here. Nothing's changed since the last time we've seen them. So there's really nothing, unless somebody had any comments after their last review on them. Otherwise, they're in here as a placeholder and we'll continue to review them at every meeting. Any comments or discussion on that? Okay. Moving on. So is Kelly here or not? Kelly, no, Kelly Brooks. She's upstairs. Do we need her? Or we might want her for that. Yes, no?
Fran,
This,
Fran and Kelly, yeah. I
There's
think
Fran.
Lisa, are you? Fran and Kelly,
Fran's here.
please.
Kelly?
Where's Fran? There's Fran. Fran
You
can, yeah.
can, Lisa, there's room for you and Maria in here if you want now. I think we're okay at capacity right now.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me for 1 second. 7:55, can you give me a heads up, like 7:50, just so I'm.
There she is.
I talk fast, so that's good.
That, I know. Hi, Kelly, thank you.
So, so what happened is that Kelly was promoted into the Director of Special Ed back in July 1st of 2021.
Yeah.
And at the time, she had applied for certification through the Department of Ed. She had the certification in Vermont. It took several months for the Department of Ed to get back to us to let us know that it was not, it's not a reciprocity.
They were, okay.
Right, between them. And so at that point, they recommended that she apply. They had issues with her master's. They weren't going to accept her master's as well. So she started to apply for a master's program. And then within a couple of months later, they decided they would accept her master's, but that we
just go with it.
But the best course of action would, because the special administration position is not considered critical shortage, the best course of action would be for the school board to declare a local critical shortage area for this particular position, which would allow her to then get a statement of eligibility. So at this point, yes.
I just wanted to qualify something. So as a certified special ed administrator and working in that capacity for more than 2 decades, last year was the first time I have ever not seen special ed administrator on the critical shortage list. It has been on the critical shortage list since, I can tell you, because when I started as the Director of Student Services in 1997, I entered in the same pathway as we're looking with Kelly, but it was a critical shortage declared by the state, not a locally declared critical shortage. So that's probably the first time in at least 30 years that it was not on the critical shortage list.
One of the requirements is that we have to have the board approve the local critical shortage list with critical shortage request, and that way we can upload it to the Department of Ed. They can then look at Kelly's, she's going to upload her competencies, and then at that point she'll actually get her certification.
So what happens if we say that there's a critical shortage and they determine there's not?
Well, the RSA allows us to make that determination.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's why it's a local, it's just for this, it's just for us here. It doesn't
Okay.
apply to any place else in the state, it's just for us here.
And what's that going to mean for Kelly? I mean, as far as,
It allows her to get her certification.
Right.
so we'll allow you the ample time to do that, so we're not going to have any issues or any requirements or liabilities that come down from this.
No, I have all my competencies done. I already did what I was
Yep.
told to do through the Bureau of Credentialing. I just need to have you do that and then upload them and then
Okay.
give me my license.
Right.
Okay.
That's
So it's
that's
just a
it. They have
step
my
in the
money.
procedure. Okay, I just wanted to make sure there's no
Sure.
liabilities for the school, or we're not creating a problem for you, or.
And in the
Right,
event
so-
that they were ever to come back and say, well, based on the competencies, we think you need additional demonstration of competencies, you need additional demonstration of competency in this area, we would develop a plan. I am still a certified special ed administrator. I can mentor Kelly through that process.
But we're not creating a liability in any way, shape, or form for this. Okay, so where do I sign?
I feel a shortage.
I think you have to just, and also you have to make a motion and it has to be approved in the minutes. I have
Okay.
to include the minutes as well.
Okay, so do you have an actual motion we need to do, or we just need to determine? Mark? Make a motion?
In accordance with RSA 189:1 4:39A, we are determining that there's a local critical staffing shortage for the Timberlane Regional School District, and we've determined this, and we are endorsing this for the special ed administrator, and we are indeed deeming that this is a local critical shortage. I'm making that.
Does that address your needs?
I can
Great. Do I
rewind
have a
and do it
second
again.
for
That
that?
was
Fine, it's fine.
A second by Katie. Do we have any discussion on this? No. Okay. Call for a vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? Abstentions? 600. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir. Okay, next is our policies. Mark, is this you?
Yes, it is.
And Shauna? You-
I
Yeah,
attended my very first meeting a few hours ago.
Okay, so we'll leave it to Mark.
So I'm going to defer to Mark.
Fair enough.
It was robust with discussion, though.
It was.
So these are for second read and adoption? Is that what
That is
these
correct.
three, so we have BB, BH, BEA, and DIH for second read and adoption. Is there
Or any
any?
changes from last time, right?
These are not, no changes from last time. This is just a second read.
So if we have,
So for the school board, it was just changing from 55 to 106.
right,
School board meeting.
well, these were all the ones that changed because we're no longer a dual SAU. So we went to a single SAU. So is there any, can I have a motion or?
Do they have to be individual motions, or can you
Nope.
make a motion for all of them?
You can,
I'll make a motion to approve policy BBBH, BEA, and DIH for second read and adoption.
Second.
motion by Katie, second by Michael. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? 600. Motion passes. Thank you. High school curriculum units action. Who is presenting on that?
Mr. Pedersen
Mark?
is in the kitchen. He was the last I saw him.
Thank you, Coral. Thank you.
I was afraid I was going to have to present that.
I got you, don't worry.
Thank you.
I believe my first agenda item is curriculum documents.
Yes, it is.
So in your packet, you should have an executive summary that goes over the process and the curriculum documents, and then you have all of those curriculum documents. So just as a reminder to the board, the two courses we're bringing forward tonight are the Studies in Women's Health and Wellness and Probability Statistics and Geometry, or excuse me, Trigonometry. Both of those courses were approved last year in the, excuse me, in the process of course selection and bringing forward the course with the competencies, the first unit of study, the course description, that went into the program of studies for the 22-23 program of studies. And then the way we've done this is, we bring a course forward and then we follow it up subsequently with the curriculum the rest of the curriculum documents. So what you have in front of you is the rest of the curriculum documents. It went through the process of curriculum and assessment committee for 2 reads. And then for official adoption from the board, it goes for 2 reads at this level. I just want to thank all the teachers that were involved in writing this. The writing a curriculum is not an easy task. It takes a lot of hours, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of thought to do what's right for the kids. So Katie Murphy has done tremendous work on the Studies in Women's Health and Wellness. I think the entire math department had a hand in writing the trigonometry, probability, and statistics course. So I just want to thank those teachers for the tremendous work that they've done in the writing of these curriculum documents.
So you just want us, we're adopting for first read?
So, yeah, it's traditionally it's been first read, adopt for first read. You have time to look them over, ask any questions, and then there's a second read at the next board meeting. I'll be at the next board meeting to answer any questions that you might have, but then second read for the formal adoption.
I would like to make a motion to accept the studies in women's health and wellness and the probability and statistics and trigonometry curriculum documents for first read and adoption.
Thank you, Michael.
Second.
Sorry, motion by Michael, second by Katie. Any further discussion? Well, we will have fun reading these in the interim. Can I call for a vote? All those in favor? 6, opposed, abstentions, 600. Still couldn't come up with a better name, right? A shorter, nicer name than that.
What, the statistics, probability, statistics, and trigonometry?
We have to come up with an acronym for it or something, Mark. We just can't keep doing that. PST?
We had Algebra 3, but
Yeah,
people
that-
didn't like
no.
Algebra 3.
No, I know.
Still on the
but
draft
Yeah,
this week, and I was
yeah,
looking,
yeah.
going, whoa, wait a minute.
We got to come up with a nickname for that one, so. All right. Are you also doing field trip
I am
requests?
also doing field trips.
There we go.
So again, in your packet, you should have an executive summary. There's 4 field trips that I would like to present to the board. In policy and IJOA, which just asks that trips, student-sponsored or school-sponsored student trips that go out of state and or overnight trips get support, get approval by the board and the superintendent. So there's 4 trips. The first one being the Harvard Model Congress in February of 2023. This is a trip that we've gone on for numerous years. I can't even remember how long we've been doing it, but we've been doing this trip for many years. It's a tremendous effort from Mr. Richmond to work with students on this trip. The opportunities that is afforded of students is just phenomenal. It's fully supported from the school level. We're making the board aware and asking for your support on this trip. So the details of that trip are in your executive summary that you have. And I don't know if you want to do each trip individually, or if you want me to go over all 4 trips and then answer questions at the end, or answer questions as we do each trip.
You do all
Is
4
there
trips at
preference?
once?
All 4.
All 4, just
Yep.
keep on rolling?
Yep.
Keep on rolling. Okay, so the first one is Harvard Model Congress. The second one that's listed there is a London theater trip. In your packet, it says summer of 2023. Late breaking news, Mr. Costantino would actually like to push this off for a year and make it summer of 2024. The company that he's working with was hoping that we could actually get it approved a little bit early to start advertising and making sure, and then there was just a couple other things that came up. So he's actually looking to push this out to summer of 2024. I'm still asking for approval of it, just so we can get work on getting the word out, getting kids signed up for it, getting kids interested in it. So it's other than the date changes to 2024, I think it's roughly going to be around those same times, early July. Mr. C is still working with that company, Four Winds Travel. So roughly, most of it's going to stay the same. It's just bumped out one summer. So the next trip in your packet is the German Cultural Exchange trip in the summer of 2024. Since 2001, Timberlane students and students from and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this.
Come on. Probability, statistics, and trigonometry.
Yeah,
You can do this.
And I took German in high school, and I don't know if I can do justice to it. It's a high school in Droysig, Germany, that we've had a cultural exchange with for many, many, many years. Mr. Rugaletti at the high school has a connection with the teachers over in Germany. It's just a really great relationship through the German American exchange program or partnership program. German students are going to come to our school in, I believe it's the fall of 2023, and they would stay with host families here. They would attend school here. They would then go on trips to Boston. I think they go on a trip to New York, and then in the spring of 2024, Timberlane students would be going to Germany, and you can see in the packet there, that they're staying with host families, but then the list of all the things that they're going to. And this, like I said, this trip has been going on for many years, very successfully, with the partnership that we have. And then the last trip to look for your approval is the Great Eclipse Exchange trip, and I didn't put a date on it in title, but it would be on April 8th, 2024, right around April 8th, 2024. The premise of this trip is that on April 8th, 2024, there's going to be an eclipse of the sun. And unfortunately, in New England, April is actually the cloudiest month. And so the likely...
Only 1 month?
Only 1 month. So the likelihood of students being able to see it around here is obviously not great. And so Mr. Rugaletti has done a little bit of legwork at looking at where might we be able to go to provide students the best opportunity to see it. He's found a town outside of El Paso, Texas, or excuse me, San Antonio, Texas, where we could work with this high school and possibly get into a partnership with this high school. Timberlane students could go down there and almost do like a cultural exchange, just like in Germany, but where they're down there, they get a chance to hopefully see the eclipse because it's a lot less cloudy there. He's done a lot of legwork on this so far. And then, invite those students up to New England for the fall or the winter so they can, see what New England has to offer at those time periods. Snow and foliage and lots of great things. So, treat it almost like a cultural exchange because all the hotels in that area are actually already booked.
Right. Wow. And it's about an hour. I did a little research myself. An hour west of Austin, 2 hours northwest of San Antonio, I believe. So
yeah,
it's probably relatively suburban, but Texas being such a huge state, it's probably more rural than suburban.
Yeah, and I mean, he's shown me the maps where he's got here's the high school, and if you go in any direction that way, you still are in the path of totality. I mean, the only thing that Steve hasn't done yet is to really do that final connection with the high school and with the families down there to connect it, but he didn't want to start doing that until we knew that we had approval.
And this trip is 2024.
April 8th, 2024, that's what he's saying.
8th to the, on here it says 4th to the 10th, so 8th.
So
it's over a weekend.
So he's planning the trip for a little bit longer so he can do some of those cultural exchange pieces, like he's talking about going to the Alamo, being able to spend time with families and truly make it more of an exchange rather than just a trip down there, see the eclipse, and the trips back. So he's hoping that he can bring in some, maybe some historical pieces. It's also obviously a different biome down there, and bring in some science. So, but yes, it would be a trip for more than just the eclipse.
Okay.
So do we need a motion to approve each one, or can we make one big one?
We can do each one. Or what we can do is make a motion to approve them all, and if that doesn't pass, then we can go through and do each one.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
Given we do that for
sake of time.
policies, we
We
should be
need to amend the
Which one?
the London trip. We need to amend the date,
The 2024.
2024.
So does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 4 field trips in the executive summary. Is that enough information?
Yeah, on November 3rd with that date change.
Correct,
December.
as amended.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Kim, second by Mark. All those in favor? Opposed?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm not opposed, I'm in favor.
All right, all those in favor? 6, so no opposed and no abstentions, so motion passes 6-0-0. I think these are great opportunities. It's great to see them coming back. All the things that we used to do, I mean, the ski trips, the Hawaii, all those fun things. It's great for the students, so.
And the new stuff.
The new stuff, but kudos to the teachers for doing this,
I was
so.
able to go to London as a kid. My son was able to go to the Galapagos. I'm still friends with the German exchange student we had over here.
So why didn't you say the word?
Because
German.
I struggled enough
Mark would say.
early reading English, never mind German. So thank you for all the extras. It's for so many of these kids, it makes their high school and young adult experience, so thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
7:50.
Yeah, okay. So our next order of business is the finalized legal calendar, which is informational. Chris, are you speaking on that, or is that just
Just informational.
Just
that it's-
informational, it's in here.
Correct.
Was there any changes since the last time, or are all the dates?
One date was just altered. Jim O and I went back and forth on a change of the date.
Which date?
Which one?
It was the Tuesday, January 24th.
Oh, okay, so supervisor of the checklist, so it doesn't affect us as far
Right,
as the
no, no, no.
scheduling our meeting date, so, okay. All right, is there any questions on this? Okay. Can you do your
No.
administrator's report in
I
seven?
already
You wanna-
canned it in, for efficiency to get through to the 7:55 time. We don't need an administrative
You don't need
report.
nothing? Nothing? Okay.
Really? You want to hear from me?
I just didn't know if you could do it in 7 minutes or not.
Come on, you know me well enough.
I appreciate the canning.
Takes
I
me
just-
7 minutes to say hello.
Thank you. All right, we do have a personnel report.
Right.
So, hi, Fran.
Excited that we're able to hire an art teacher for your Sandown North, so that's what you have in front of you. Her name is Danielle Muir.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve this nomination? Motion by Mark, second by Michael. All those in favor? 6, right, Mark? You had your arm up?
Yes, I did.
Opposed, abstentions, 600, motion passes. Thank you very much. All right.
All right, look at that.
We still have
3
few
minutes.
minutes, so committee reports, do we have any? Yep.
Real fast, BudCom reached out, Maria reached out on behalf of BudCom to have some conversation and be better educated on the voucher program in the state, the potential impacts that could have, and the BudCom would like to have a combined meeting with the school board. When Maria reached out, we were pleasantly surprised that the person who said that they would come in was actually the head of the Department of Education, Forrest. So in order to get that ball rolling, I understand that we need to send him or approve an official invite to have him come to this December 8th meeting.
Yes.
That's accurate, Maria?
Yeah, actually, he's not available on December 8th. That was our initial proposal. They have the Teacher of the Year award at the DOE that night or something like that. So he said he's available on December 15th, which is actually a school board meeting date. So
Okay.
we wanted to, the budget committee wants to make sure that that's okay with the school
That's where you
board.
got
If you
that
guys
date.
want to
That's where I got that.
have a joint meeting to host the commissioner that night. And I also wanted to ask you what space you want to utilize for that.
So can I just, how long do we think that presentation? Because I'm just wondering, do we?
Beforehand.
We could do it beforehand, do a joint meeting beforehand?
Yeah.
That makes most
I
sense.
think that makes the most sense. No?
Can we,
No, it really shouldn't take all that long. It's not that complicated of a
can-
topic, but the fact that he wants to come, the commissioner wants to come,
Yeah.
I would expect that he may also choose to speak to some other elements that he might want to share with our boards.
so why don't we shoot for that, 6 o'clock on the 15th? And if we,
He's available at 7.
he's available at 7.
So
So
perhaps
what
the
if
school
we, maybe we can start our school board meeting at 6 and then just put that on the agenda for 7?
Okay.
Why don't we, does that work for I should probably check my schedule.
I will plan on foregoing my administrator's report at that meeting as well.
He thanks you.
We just might leave, that's all.
Cameron, can you communicate that to the BudCom?
Yeah, I got a guy.
You have an in?
BudCom.
So let's see if we can get a confirmation on that first before you confirm with him.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, we'll plan on that. We'll just start,
And as far as
we'll
the
start our meeting early. We'll plan on 6. It will depend on our agenda if we have, but
We'll coordinate our agenda to be,
okay, because we had some other stuff
For
that,
physical space, are we
December
thinking here, or do we want to see if the back is open, or?
Library.
The library, thank you. I
The
forgot
library
that.
at the highest school was what we were thinking, because it's not so big.
But
You
then-
can actually set it up to, you can set up the tables to.
can we do a meeting from there, Dean?
From which location?
From the library?
Possibly.
PAC would be preferred.
The thing, I don't want to
When
make.
would we need when would it need to be listed?
I'm looking to see what's, we'll find out.
Okay, we'll figure,
At the
we'll
next
work on the
meeting, we'll
logistics
make
and
the
try to make it
announcement.
happen. Is everyone in agreement that we should do this, so?
Yes.
We'll figure out what makes the most sense with regard to location and timing.
I'll have to show off the back to the commissioner.
You could do that. Okay. All right, any other committee reports?
No.
I'm just gonna say, as far as safety committee, feedback on our safety training has been going well. So that's a great thing to have. Our next meeting is in next week, so we'll have some more information there. No committee report?
The program of studies will come for first read, I believe, next month.
Okay,
We've been working at that, on that with CNA, and that's pretty much it.
that's pretty much it?
Yep.
Okay. One quick question. What happened to the track grant?
Still waiting.
We're still waiting. That's what I thought. Okay, somebody asked me that the other day, and I'm like, I think we're still waiting, so.
We are,
So,
we're ready and prepared if we get it, but
okay. So, if there's no other committee reports, correspondence folders all set and done, we're doing everything else, there's no non-public
Business.
tonight, no other future dates to discuss. So I'm actually going to call this meeting of the school board at, that would be,
non-public, right?
what? No. No, I'm gonna, what? Well, who said wait? Oh. I'm gonna call this meeting of the school board at 7:57. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. Okay, and now